Hello everyone, I'm back. I'm going to make this one really short. This is another video about death and the process. If you missed the first one, go back and watch the first part about death where I deal with Kobe Bryant. But this video I'm making for a particular person in particular. And I want to talk to those of you listening like I would if I were talking to a close friend or a best friend or a younger sister or a niece or so, offering advice of what I would do at the loss of a loved one. I know of someone who recently lost a loved one. I don't know the details, but I will look at it like this. Number one, in the world of psychology, anytime you're going to therapy, they have 7 stages of grief, something called 7 stages of grief. And they're not necessarily in the same order, but I'm going to see if I can name all 7. I know I can name a few of them. One is going to be anger. So you can look to be kind of short with people. That's when you want to go in. You want to get your crystals. Do your meditations. Spend your time in meditations. Be careful with that whole anger thing, because you can end up really going off on somebody and like losing a job or losing relationships or friendships and stuff like that. So anger is one of them. Depression is another one, which is only normal. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel heavy. You're going to want to close those curtains and, maybe not want to go places, not want to do things. That's one of them. Bargaining is one of and we're talking the 7 stages of grief. Bargaining is one. When you bargain, that means you sit and you say to yourself, why did John have to get hit by a car? It should have been me. Or why John got hit by a car when JJ was a bad kid? I wish he would have died early. Why John had to die? JJ bad as hell. He should have been the one to get hit. Or if your mom gets sick, why my mom got to get sick? Such and such and such, mama, they don't even da-da-da-da-da. People come up with bargaining reasons. Or they also come up with things like, if I had been there, if I gotten there on time, she wouldn't have died. Or I should have been on that plane. Or I should have been in the car with them. Or I should have been on that boat. Or if I hadn't asked him to go fishing, he never would have died in a boating accident. So all of that is bargaining. Those are one of the stages of grief. What's another one? I forgot. I have to make a list. I'll make another video about that. But anyway, just know, start being introspective and pay attention to yourself and pay attention to your behavior. Read up on the 7 stages of grief. Start noticing your own behavior and give yourself time. Give yourself time to grieve. Give yourself quiet time. Give yourself time to be sad. People, a lot of times when it comes to grief, they get mad at themselves for crying. Like, grief is weird. There is no rule book to grief. Grief can hit you in the middle of the frozen peas section down the Walmart on a busy Saturday in the middle of the day. Everybody and their mama down the Walmart around 3 o'clock on a Saturday or 12 o'clock on a Saturday. Everybody down there. You'll be down there busting out crying in the frozen peas section because maybe somebody just walked by you with your loved one's perfume or cologne on. Maybe there's a baby that looks like your kid, or just a baby period, or a little girl, and you miss your little girl, so you start crying right there in the frozen peas section. This is normal. This is all normal. And here's the thing. Let yourself cry. You stand right there in that frozen peas section and get your cry out. Or go to a bathroom or something, or go get in the dog food. Don't nobody ever be in the dog food section. Go get you on an aisle where ain't nobody at and finish your cry out. Don't hold it in, because when you hold it in, that turns into sickness. That's where these diseases and this IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, all that colon, all that solar plexus stuff, heart issues, panic attacks, heart palpitations, all of that, carpal tunnel, different things start going wrong with your hand and your wrist. All of that's heart chakra. You got to be careful not to hold stuff in or avoid the crying. So if the crying spells, or when the crying spells come, let them come. Talk about it. Don't Okay, my video got cut off. This gonna be a two-parter too. Talk about it though. If you go to the wrong person, a lot of times they can be impatient or not as attentive as they should be, or have the wrong stuff to say, or too many Bible scriptures, too much Jesus, too many solutions. But find you somebody real good. If it's not a professional therapist, go and get a group. There's group therapy that you can go to when somebody dies. Get into some counseling. Go to group therapy. Go to grief counseling. Or find you a real good friend. I call them pseudo shrinks. Get you a good friend that you can talk to and sit on that phone and cry with. Some of the best people to talk to about death are people who have experienced death. So, you know, if you've lost a child, it's good to get with another group of mothers or another mother who's lost a child and just talk about your feelings, what you're feeling, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, whatever it is. Talk that stuff out. That would be my advice for somebody who would be going through any kind of grieving. That's what I'm talking about. I cut my video off. Hopefully I know how to put two videos together and make it one big video. But yeah, I would say talk it out with people, go to therapy, or find a good friend, cry it out. And then sometimes it's good to turn on happy things. Sometimes it's good to turn on sad music so you can cry. You know, if you're feeling a little heavy, turn on the sad song so that you can get it out. I think Elton John wrote a song about that. Sad songs say so much. But let turn on a sad song or a song that's going to take you into worship. And then turn on your worship music after that and just worship your way out of it. You know, praise your way out of it. Then you can turn on some happy music. You can turn on that person's favorite music. Things like that. And watching comedies is good. Watch something that's going to make you laugh. Watch something that's going to, when I'm feeling down or challenged in my spirit about some stuff, or things are weighing on me, or I can't stop ruminating, meaning can't stop thinking about the wrong thing over and over, I will turn on a movie. A good comedy movie that takes my mind off it. Something with some foolishness, and just sit there and laugh, 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 laugh. Now, the question was posed to me by the person that I'm making a video for, was about ancestral veneration and about how do you get in touch with your ancestors. I would say the first thing you need to do is go ahead and start making your altar, set up an altar. I have a friend who has the dresser that belonged to a grandmother. He has that that he has set up as her altar, and a lot of her stuff, her favorite things, are on that dresser, and the grandfather's watch and different things like that are on the dresser. So it's a shrine to them. So there's a movie, I think the name of that movie is Poco, P-O-C-O, Polo, or P-O-L-O. I forget the name of it, but it is it's about the Hispanic culture, Spanish culture, but it talks about the ancestors. Talks about the ancestors. I'll put the name of it in the description when I finalize all of this. But that's a real good cartoon. It's a real good movie to watch when you lose a loved one, because it shows you, gives you a good idea what goes on the other side, and communicating with them. How to get in touch with them is building the altar, is setting up a candle, is setting a glass of water and speaking their name and pouring drops of libation, whether it's water, whether it's beer. If they love Schlitz malt liquor, have them a nice can of beer on that altar. If they smoke cigarettes, have them a nice case of cigarettes on that altar. My mama was Tootsie Rolls and Tootsie Pops, so I set her up. My mama loved all that old school candy. So like Cracker Barrel sells a lot of that old candy. Or any time I find an old store that got certain stuff like them Chico sticks, stuff like that, I save that and I put it on the altar. If I'm making an altar for her, I put her favorite stuff that she liked. Like I recently made one for my grandmother, and I put some double mint gum and some of them nice good old crunchy peppermints, the kind that they taste powdery when you bite them, the peppermint stick, Christmas, old school candy. But that's what I put up there for my dear. whenever I'm honoring her on the altar. So I have Medea, I have Mama, I have Nisi, I have Faye, Nisi's mother, on my altar. I have Bishop Charles H. Mason on my altar. I have Maya Angelou on my altar. And, you know, constantly, I light my incense. I change my candle. I change that water daily. I have a plant, some plant life, flowers. So that's what you want to do. You want to start off with a picture, their favorite things, flowers. That's how you start getting in contact with them. And when you start off with it, don't overdo it. Don't overthink it. Don't be so into, well, I don't hear nothing. I don't feel nothing. I'm pretty sure you're going to feel something. But just start off with a picture of them and setting up in honor of some of the things that they love, whether it's the obituary, where there's little candies, little gums, where there's little toys, whatever they love. Just set up a space and keep that space for them. Keep that space set up in a private place. And if you got family members that don't believe in all of that or that spooks them out, don't let them see it. Put it in your room, in your closet, off to itself. Put your altar up where nobody can see it and desecrate it and speak over it, because it is a sacred place. It's a sacred place. And it is a place where they can come through and they can reach you. So that's my message for today. Speak their names, pour the libation, light a candle, set out their picture and their favorite things. That's one of the starter things that I would do if I'd lost a loved one. So that's my video on that. Nice and short and sweet. Yay! I did less than 10 minutes. Okay, bye.